There we go. We have a little bit of an issue here. Bear with me.
What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and happy Saturday night to you. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas. It is the awakening world. You know, one of the things that I especially enjoy doing is when I can introduce all of you to people that I love. And my co-hosts and really the inspiration for tonight's show are two of my dearest friends going way, way back. And coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina, here are Vineet and Rajio Allen. And welcome, Vineet. Rajio, and they have a beautiful retreat site outside of Asheville, and they are putting together a very wonderful festival, which I'm going to be flying out to be a part of. So welcome to the Awakening World. You've, of course, both been on my shows before, but tell us about the INTERBEING Festival.
Thank you, Scott. Quite an honor to be on the show tonight. Very exciting. Yeah, the INTERBEING Festival is about bringing people together and providing entertainment, yes, but also lots of experiences, processes, ceremonies that actually uplift the spirit and give you something you can actually take away that will improve your life. So it's about having fun, but much more than that as well. It's to bring us together and bring out the best in community.
Beautiful. And what are some of the examples of what we'll experiences see there?
You want to say?
Yeah, we have breath work with me. That's to open the way, so we all get breathing and opening our hearts together. And then we have a wonderful dance set. We have 4 different venues around the land. There's a main stage, and there's a council fire, and there's a Samasati tea lounge. So there'll be different events happening in all of those, and wonderful presenters, dance, music, kirtan, sound healing, circling with Shelley, who's on later here, and great music all throughout, and also a community gathering to explore what community is and how we can all take refuge in community in these times.
And tell us a little bit about kind of the Asheville community, like kind of the demographics, and who do you tend to attract at a festival like this?
Asheville is an incredibly creative hotspot on the planet. So we've got a lot of especially young folks that are all kinds of creativity, music, art, dance. So that's one major contingent. As teachers coming from California that are older, we also tend to attract an older set that's looking for that kind of growth and intimate connection. So, in short, there's a nice diverse range of people there, which is obviously part of a resilient community. Is that kind of diversity.
Beautiful. We promote quite a few festivals on this show. A couple of weeks ago, we were promoting the Bhakti Festival that's coming up in September. And right now, while we're speaking, the Earthstock Festival is happening in Colorado. And a lot of our Global Peace Drivers are there this week. So hopefully we are going to gather some of our, maybe more of our East Coast friends to come out and join us in early October for the INTERBEING Festival.
Yeah, come join us. We have, some gorgeous land here that's very sacred. Everybody feels very nourished when they come here. And we call it a sanctuary for the soul. It really is a place where you can step out of the world and really come home to yourself and remember what's really important in community.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to be right back in a moment to go a little deeper with Raggio, but it is Saturday night and we have lots of music tonight. We've got Omashar, we've got a new friend, Billy Jonas, we've got a wonderful man named Adama who's going to do some drumming. But we're going to start it off, of course, with our house musical artist, our beloved Omashar.
That will be me, and namaste, everybody. And of course, we have Ashoka. We haven't forgot you, brother, who's going to do a bit of kirtan for us later. And I'd like to welcome everybody who's watching on YouTube, that's right, and FaceTime, not FaceTime, whatever the other one is.
Facebook.
They'll do. And all of our broadcast partners, greetings and namaste and welcome. And this is a song which was kind of inspired by festivals, and it's called Rainbow Nation. So there we go. So you can boogie to this one, I think. I'm just going to change mic source and be right there with you. So. Raising frequency, raising vibration, hearts are open, hands together, loving each other, sisters and brothers, 'cause what we are is light in form, and light in form will lift us all. So don't give up on walking tall. The time is now, so heed the call and wake up to the light of this new day. Because we are the heart of our world, the light in our world. We are the joy in our world, the love in our world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's all twinkle, beloved Omashar.
Yeah, I think my name is either, what is it? Icing on the cake or Twinkle Star.
Twinkle Shar. I like Twinkle Shar. Uh,
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Bye.
and remember that you can get much more Omashar by going to his website, which is his name, omashar.com. And it's easy to go there. And we scroll down, learn about him, and we go to Bandcamp. And that's where we buy his albums. So I want to encourage everybody to please do that. And for some reason, your Bandcamp link is, there we go. There are his five little children, 5 Omashar albums, all waiting for you to purchase them. And it really is wonderful music, as you all know. Omashar is such a blessing to our awakening world, to our global peace tribe audience. So please do support him by getting his music. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And he'll be back later on for another song. All right. We get to go a little deeper. Someone who's really precious to me. And that's Vinny's beloved wife, Rajio. Those of you that know me well know that I was blessed to be married to a wonderful woman. And this was my wife, Suchi's best friend, Rajio. And it was kind of remarkable how Rajio and Vineet found each other. I had known Vineet for many years. And anyway, they are a beautiful, wonderful couple. And Rajio is a brilliant therapist, coach, has been on the path of awakening really her entire life. Rajio, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. And I'd love for you to kind of talk about your perspective, because tonight we want to look at both the external Interbeing Festival, but also what does it mean for us to really do the work of the interbeing within ourselves?
Yeah, well, it's a big subject. My work, which I've been, as you say, passionately on the path with for all my life, is about the alchemy of awakening and really bringing our human experience into a divine expression and integrating both. And what we wish for with the Interbeing Festival is really to have a space where we can come together as our whole selves, as our natural selves, as our heartful selves, to interbe together. There's often a lot of ways we meet in the conceptual world. There's ways we meet in the physical, and it's sometimes harder to really drop into a heart space together. You're doing it here, Scott, in such a beautiful way by bringing people together to drop into their hearts. And with the Interbeing Festival, we really have a place where people can just let go and be together, being through singing, through chanting, through dancing, through being our silly, crazy, messy human selves, and also being our whole, full, natural selves together. We can come and just remember who we are together. And there's an importance for the inner practices that bring us into alignment with who we truly are. And then there's a place to share that with each other in a playful, joyful, authentic way. So that's the Interbeing Festival.
And what are some tips for those of us who want to go deeper into our own being? I mean, you have been on the path of awakening as long as I've known you, for decades. What are some of the tips or tools you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Yeah. Well, I feel that it's really important to kind of shake and shed those layers of conditioning that keep us kind of boxed into an old way of being that is no longer needed. And it's also important to spend time with ourselves in aloneness, really, to tune in to who we are now and what's wanting to come forth from us now. And I honestly, I've been around the block a few times. I've probably done just about every workshop, training, transformational process you could imagine. And at the end of the day, I can honestly say that what's worked for me and what I've seen work for many, many others is meditation. That it doesn't necessarily have to be just sitting silently, but having a way to just drop into one's own inner being is a really important thing. To find a corner of the day that's not being pulled on by technology, or where we're not being pulled out to be something or do something for someone else in the world, but just to be with ourselves in a simple, deep, quiet way where we can come home to ourselves and say, who am I really? That's the primal question. Who am I?
There's something perfect about, as you're talking about taking a break from our devices, that the device goes off. I love
Yes.
that's
Yes. I mean, how many of us actually really do that consciously every day to just find a corner of the day where we're not being distracted by technology? It's hard. We're all pretty addicted in these days.
totally, totally.
Yeah,
And you mentioned, of course, meditation, but there are many other practices that can be a break for people. It can be yoga. It can be a martial art form. It can be playing a musical instrument.
yeah.
Because I know a lot of people are put off by meditation because they've tried it and they fall asleep or it doesn't work for them. So would it be okay to say, to have a practice?
Absolutely. When I talk about meditation, I don't necessarily talk about just sitting silently and watching our crazy mind for an hour, although that is helpful to just see how crazy our mind is. But having a practice that shifts us out of the ordinary state of consciousness, shifts us into more of a, alternate way of thinking and being. And whether that's yoga or chanting or qigong or tai chi or music or being in nature, they're all very valuable and important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I say meditation also, I have so many meditation techniques that are not sitting silently. They're really about moving energy and getting ourselves out of the box. So that's, and whatever, in the end drops us into more of who we truly are, that we can just come home to ourselves and say, oh, this is what it's like to be connected to myself again.
Absolutely. And right now, there's obviously a lot of polarization going on in our country with the election. And do you have any tips for kind of how to utilize some of your tools for people that are really feeling the stress, whether it's the stress of climate change, the horror going on in Gaza, fear of a civil war even? What are some tips or tools that you might suggest for people that are highly sensitive? Because most of our audience are highly sensitive beings. I know you are as well. How to manage that external world stuff that's going on?
Well, I would say that it's important to notice that we are being deeply impacted by this. We are all global citizens, and I know that everybody on this show tonight is somebody that longs for a world of peace and oneness. And it's important to find ways of regulating our nervous system so that we are not constantly in the grip of this fear and darkness and divisiveness that is a lot of what's running in our world these days. And I know that in our hearts we all long for a different way, and to find ways of coming back and just remembering that's actually what's most important here, that we are all one in this. And I would say again, to take time to notice when you're being overrun by those fears and those impressions, and step back and come back to what's what's my truth here? What do I want for the world? And then to live more from that place. So that's where meditation and our intention to make a difference in the world come together. Meditation practices, however you call it.
Sure, sure. Well, you know,
Yeah.
since we've got you right up there too, Vineet, since you're with us, what are some of your thoughts also about the same questions I've been asking? What are some of your tools and practices for going within?
Well, nature is my go-to. Running or camping out on trails and getting guidance from trees, going in naked in swimming holes wherever I find them. So that's one way, just getting myself into nature. Another would be to take a few breaths wherever I am and go to that place that's spacious and quiet already, even if it's in a busy thoroughfare of some kind. But I know that place, that spacious, quiet place inside is fully accessible. If I intend to go there and I close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, settle into it, and I'm there, and that's enough.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any final thoughts you want to share about either the external Interbeing Festival or the work that you help people with, Raju?
Yeah, I just love it when we all come together in with a focus on what we all want to create together. And when we do that for ourselves internally, and when we do that together and share it, it becomes that's what the truth is. That's what shows up as the truth. And so I hope anybody and everybody watching can come to the Interbeing Festival and just take some time for yourself, to retreat, to find a corner of your life, a corner of your day, a corner of your world that is not bombarded by all the external energy, that you can connect with your deepest inner truth, which is love, which is peace.
And yes, I'd like to say a couple things about the festival. First of all, the scale of it, because some festivals are thousands of people. This is a much more intimate affair here for about 100 people on 10 acres of land with trails and sacred altars and to explore. So that's kind of the scale of it. So that's understood. And the other thing is the theme this year is community, refuge in a changing world. As we know, with the world very uncertain, community and all aspects of it are more important than ever for our survival and our thriving. And we're featuring a community leaders roundtable from 7 different local organizations, supportive organizations such as Mankind Project and Leaf Global, lots of prominent organizations right here in town. The leaders from them will be at a panel roundtable and answer some questions, talk about resources they can share, things they've learned. It'll be a first time ever in the Asheville area that very different organizations have come together for this kind of connection and dialogue. So very excited about that featured event.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to show a couple things. Here is just the flyer for the Interbeing Festival. And again, it's Saturday, October 5th, just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. I'll be there. Jasmine Bear, my dog, will be there with me. And yeah, a really wonderful, wonderful time. So I really hope that those of you who are looking for a reason to come to the Asheville area, and I saw many people in the chat box saying that they're thinking of moving to Asheville. That's something that's been on their mind. And then for those of you who really want to go deeper, Ragio is a wonderful spiritual counselor. She's brilliant. She has been on the path a very long time, and I've known her for a long time. And, I really want to encourage any of you that feel called to learn more about her to go to her website, and it's alchemyofawakening.net. Alchemyofawakening.net. You can learn more about her services. She does one-on-one mentorship. She does retreats. And she's a really extraordinary being. So this is how you can learn more about Raggio. And at the very least, put in your email address. Every day I get a wonderful quote from Raggio, and she provides that service. So thank you very, very much. And Vineet, while the camera's on you, you are going to now introduce your friend Billy Jonas.
Awesome. Thank you. Billy is a new friend. I only first heard his music a few months ago at our wonderful Jubilee Sunday spiritual services, and I was blown away. It was so good and so real, with a real message that got me. So since I don't know too much about you, Billy, other than such great music, I'm going to read the little bit that you gave us here. For over 30 years, former and did the art of the neo. He has called Asheville home since 1991. Billy's songs help heal rifts within ourselves, our family.
Vineet,
Yeah.
Something has gone wrong with your internet. You are seriously frozen. So I don't know if you may want to close some programs, or maybe somebody else in the house is using the internet, but you've been fine up until now, but you are freezing up. And so what I will do is, because I have Billy's information here, I'm going to take over a little bit. Hi, Billy.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Great.
And Billy, it's great to have you here. And I guess what Vineet was trying to say is that Billy Jonas is all about bridging the divides through rhythm and song, healing communities in the world. He's been captivating audiences since 1987. I guess he was about 4 years old back then, using voice, guitar, and industrial repercussion. That's instruments made from found objects. Love to hear a little bit more about that, Billy. He tours solo as well as with the Billy Jonas Band, records with the interfaith super trio Abraham Jam, and he'll be releasing Bridging Divides, Dreaming the Future, a collection of commissioned and sponsored songs in the spring of 2025. He was honored with an invitation to perform at the White House in 2010, as well as the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. He lives in Nashville with his wife, his 9-year-old daughter, and most importantly, 4 chickens and a big garden. Billy, welcome to the Awakening World.
What a privilege to be here and to see all these bright, shining faces. I loved the dancing. That was so inspiring. I haven't been on a Zoom meeting where that was such a big part of it. So thank you, everybody, for doing that.
Absolutely. And what do you got for us tonight, Billy?
Let me play a song for you. I did not have to write the words to this, just the music. This is a poem by Rumi. Please give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the poet Rumi before, the Sufi poet. All right, so you'll recognize the guest house here. Oh, I wanted to tell you something before I do this.
Yes, please.
You'll have to give me some indication if I go off camera, because I can't see myself on the screen on purpose. If you were asking what we can all do to have a better life with all the nuttiness going on around us, you can achieve Zoom enlightenment by hiding self-view. You just go up in the right corner and you click on the 3 dots up there, or whatever the view, and then there's a little thing that says hide self-view, and you can't see yourself anymore. It's just Zoom enlightenment. Here we go. I can't see myself. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. even if they're a crowd of sorrows. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. Echo, this being human is a guest house. This being human is a guest. Every morning a new arrival. You can sing it. This being human is a guest house. This being human is a guest. Every morning a new arrival. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, greet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for each visitor. Each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Be grateful for each visitor. Each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Help me sing it, please. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival.
Oh,
The guest house.
beautiful. And I think many of us do know that wonderful poem. And Dr. Laura writes, wow, Billy, that was brilliant. Thank
Thank
you
you so
to
much.
you and Rumi. Susan writes, beautiful guitar. Pam writes, I love this poem by Rumi. Putting it to music is brilliant.
Yeah, I took some of the lines and repeated them. Obviously, Rumi didn't do that in the original, so I hope that worked for everybody. But what a privilege to be able to dive into Rumi's work and to and to find the transmission. I'm sure you know that what comes through it. You know that word transmission. So you dig into the words and then you find something deeper that comes through. And I have to sing that song daily to remind myself of that truth, because the guests come fast and furious and they knock me off my game, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When I come to the Interbeing Festival, I'll be doing songs like that. You know, we talked about my industrial repercussion instruments. I'm going to do 2 guitar songs tonight, but I'll show you. I have my vibra rake here. You can see that. It's an old rake. And then I've got my tin can timbales. And I have a whole percussion setup that I'm not going to play for you tonight, but you can come to the Interbeing Festival to witness it. And it's called an every one man band. What I mean by that is I'll be playing stuff with my feet and my hands, and I'll be singing, and I'll be asking people to participate in a neo-tribal hootenanny, which means voice and percussion and everybody in the band. Every one man band, that is to say. So that's what I do. I do a show for families with that, and I do a show for adults, and sometimes it's all one big happy family. That's what we'll do. And the main thing that we're going for is joy. To me, joy is full spectrum. Joy is the hard part, the joy, the depression, the meanness, you know, all that stuff that Rumi talks about, the dark thought, the malice. Finding a way to embrace that and move through it without splattering those around us with it, and finding a way to access the ecstaticness that comes from embracing all that. Please remind me I said all that, because I have to be reminded every day. And, yeah. Shall I keep talking? I don't know. I'm on a roll here, but
Billy,
you have
you are on
questions.
a roll.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm
Well-
loving your energy and your spirit, and our audience is also relating to you quite beautifully.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I believe that what Vineet and Ragio are doing is a beautiful initiative, trying to get people together to be inhabitants of their selves, deep inhabitants of their selves, because that's where peace begins. And once you inhabit yourself deeply, you can reach out to those around you, and that can radiate out in ways that we can't ever measure. I once did some drumming with the great Nigerian drummer Olatunji. Have you heard Olatunji before? Babatunde Olatunji came from Nigeria in the 50s, and he just made the world explode. Anyway, we were all drumming, and he said, "Stop! Stop what you're doing! You have no idea what you're doing!" And we thought he was criticizing us. And then he went on to say, "The drumming you're doing here might be healing someone on the other side of the world."
Wow.
And the truth of that came through to everybody. And then we drummed again, and we were all totally in sync, which we weren't before he stopped us. And so that's what I think the Interbeing Festival is going to be about, getting us in sync with ourselves so that we can be in sync with each other and with the great beyond.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to read some of the comments from our audience, and then we're going to take a look at your website. Dia Therese just wrote, "I am swept up in delightful appreciation of Billy, his unique and sensitive gift." Yes. So thank you for that. Trina Joy writes, "Every Saturday, a new entertainment, new music, and new awakening. Thank you, Billy, Scott, and Rumi." Grace Denise writes, "Embracing it so we don't splatter it onto others." And Ayada writes, "Babatunde!" with exclamation marks. So clearly she knew of him. I'm going to take people to your website, and
Yeah.
remember it. It's his name. There he is. It's billyjonas.com, BILLYJONAS.com. And that looks like some pretty fun looking people. Anything
That's
you want to direct people to?
Well, there's a contact button. Please click on that and sign up to hear from me. You can choose to hear from me with my once every month or 2-month newsletter. It's not too long, or you can hear from me less often from that. And then I'll be able to let you know when I'm in the area. I was just out in Seattle. Who knows when I'll be where you are? And I'm in Asheville right now. That's where I live. And I also have a new album coming out, which was mentioned before. It's called Bridging Divides, and that'll be on my website. It'll be broadcast to the world via my newsletter in probably April 2025. So please stay in touch with me, or send me a note. Just let me know what you're up to. Instagram is good too.
All right, good. And we are going to see you in a little while. We're going to be back on the show in a little bit.
Yes.
So, Billy, you're beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wonderful start to the show. And Vineet, I'm back on camera with you to introduce your friend Shelley. Vineet.
Thank you. So I've known Shelley for a few years, one of our first friends here in Asheville after we had moved. We find her really warm, really open, really funny, and really engaged in everything that we do here. She is a professional attorney who's trained extensively in trauma recovery, and she integrates ancient wisdom with modern practices, fostering authentic, empathetic connections in all relationships. And I'm so excited about her circling session that she's doing for the festival. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you, Vineet. Yeah, it's really great to be here. Thank you for including me. So I think that for starters, I'm just going to really invite everyone to take a deep breath. So one of the things that I have been learning over the past 7 years really has been to increase my ability to listen to people and to actually be with people in a way that is more than just being in the same place as they are, but actually creating an energetic field with other people so that we can be together in sort of a frequency that allows us to be with one another in a way that is not designed to give advice or fix or, like listen from the place of, oh, I know how to solve that, which of course, as a lawyer, I've had a lot of training in that. But in a way to be with one another and use a type of listening that allows for us to reflect back what the other person is sharing with us, maybe just so they really get that they've been heard. That asking the person curious questions to make sure that we're really getting their experience, and sharing the impact that what their experience that they are sharing is having on us. So this actually increases, we're talking tonight about how important it is for us to learn to be with one another's differences, and especially in the world where we have so much conflict. And it's so difficult to include everyone when we have such sharp differences in our beliefs and our views. So this is a way to increase our capacity to let people be where they are without trying to convince them that they need to be somewhere else. And it's really a type of resonance work too, so that it comes from the place of nothing is wrong, that nothing needs fixed, that we can just be together in a way that we can actually kind of slow down and feel into what is happening, and include in our experience our somatic experience as well, not just cognitively be, thinking about what we're going to say next, or how you have a similar experience, or that routine. So at Samasadi, when we do the Inner Being Festival, I'm going to be facilitating a circle where we're doing this in a group. And we basically start by dropping in together, and then people just begin to share. And as they share, we practice these listening skills. And if anybody gives advice, that gets interrupted, not in a shameful way, but just a reminding way of, boy, we want to maybe fix each other sometimes, because it's so hard to be with the feelings that come up when you're listening to someone who's really in pain or who's really struggling with something. And it's just hard to sit and resonate with, wow, this person is really in pain. And yet that is the thing that brings them out of the suffering, because there's something about us being together that is very healing. And also, when we practice this one-on-one, we can actually facilitate the other to unfold. And over time, as we practice that, we get much more capacity to feel and be with our truest nature. So we've also, that's been coming up a lot tonight too, that, the concept of inhabiting ourselves, and that sensation for me of the contact with who I really am it's just a place of all is well. So even doing this practice, like when we do a circle at Samasadi for an hour, it really makes a difference. Like, you might think that's not very much time, which it's not, but any time that we have together where we're really being together in that kind of depth is healing. So I just also want to say something about trauma, because the kind of listening that I'm talking about is really sensitive to trauma. And personally, I think everyone has unprocessed trauma, and some of us have had more trauma than others, but just being able to bring compassion to one another and consider that sometimes we're responding in a way that's really coming out of a trauma rather than our nature is bringing compassion in a way, again, that allows us to be with one another in a way that is healing. So I'm just noticing that in my speaking, I'm feeling a wave of emotion, because for me, I that is so true for me to be able to recognize that someone's behavior might be a piece of unprocessed trauma. I'm just reading a question in the chat.
Go ahead and read it out loud then, Shelley, so you can respond to it.
Okay, thanks. Trauma work has become more center stage lately and largely discussed and practiced in various ways for good. What, in your opinion and experience, have been the most effective and lasting from the wide spectrum of modalities, from pharmaceuticals to psychotherapy to plant medicines and psychedelics? Well, since I've tried all of those things, I can speak from my direct experience. For me, it would be difficult to pin one thing on, to put one thing on any particular modality. But I would say that personally, for me, the most effective healing I've had from trauma is what's called like a memory reconsolidation, where you're actually creating an energy field with another person who's sensitive to trauma, and then activating the nervous system that is similar to the trauma, and then reconsolidating the memory. So that's kind of a mouthful there that I just said, and it's actually not a very complex thing, but it does take some training and some sensitivity to make sure the other person is staying in the range of appropriate nervous system tolerance. And for me, I'm not into pharmaceuticals, of course. Why I just don't, I guess, trust pharmaceuticals. But plant medicines and psychedelics, I would say, certainly impact the capacity for me it has impacted the capacity to honestly believe that that we can heal, that we're not stuck with the neurology that might be currently operating, that we actually are capable, all of us, of healing. So does that answer the question?
I'm going to read some of the comments that have come in, because there's some beautiful ones here. Ayada writes another question for you. Would memory reconsolidation be similar to EMDR and the reprogramming aspect of it?
It is similar to that. It is. And different people, of course, we all have differences. So like I personally am an extremely visual person. And when I do deep work, I often, if I get into a triggered, like a trauma memory, I get almost like a ticker tape of memory. And so it's easy for me to do memory reconsolidation work because I can work with the visual memories that I get. Not everyone gets that. So like EMDR, you don't really have to have a memory. It's just I think that for me, the thing that is so powerful is that I feel like there's finally a choice of modalities where we can actually work on healing some of the things that we've just inherited and some of the things that happen to us in our lives. And, someone's Billy saying, let's see a demonstration, which I'd love to do, but I'll tell you the truth. You can't really fake a demonstration. It's like it almost is like the kind of trauma work. I might be working with someone one-on-one and a trauma comes up, and then I can work with it right then. But I would never try and force something to happen in a session. It will unfold as it does.
Well,
Yes.
people are really enjoying what you have to say, and I'm going to share some of the comments that came in. Susan Bloomquist wrote, "The way you are holding people and helping them connect is a new form of therapy, one that uplifts people. This training of listening is also the way to allow sharing." And Carol points out that she sees that this is authentic presence work, where two or more are gathered. And Carol also writes, "Compassion is oozing out of your energy field, Shelley." So agree. Nikita, who we're going to hear from in a few minutes, writes, "So well expressed, Shelley. This is powerful work."
Mhm. Thank you.
And Grace Denise has a question. Can you talk more about how we listen and step back when we're worried about potential harmful effects from where the other person is at? Good question.
Yeah, I love that question. So, I'm going to give an example from my own life that's really recent. I just moved into a house. I bought a house. I'm an older person. It was a big decision for me. And I thought that I would be thrilled and happy. I've been looking for a house for years, 7 years to be exact. And so I thought I would be really joyful and it would just be this great, joyful event. And so when I would tell people that I bought a house, they would meet me with that expected exuberance. "Oh, congratulations, I'm so happy for you." But I actually was having a different response. I was having a lot of fear come up and um, grief, which I didn't expect. It was completely flabbergasting to me. And when I would say that, not everyone, but many people would say, "It'll be fine. Just wait, a month, you'll be so happy. It'll be great." And when that I would get met with that kind of reaction, it felt more painful. So this is what I feel is that when that happens, it's like the person I'm speaking to is struggling to be with my pain. So it's not available for them to reflect what they heard me say. "Wow, Shelley, I'm getting that you're scared and that this is really bringing up grief for you." When I get that response, it's like, oh, my body just relaxes. Like, oh, this person hears me. So while the first example, the person is trying to help me by pushing me forward in time and reassuring me that everything's going to be okay, it actually has the reverse effect and pushes me further into my fear and grief. So this is the thing about reflection and using these kind of curious questions. So it's bringing up grief. Say more about that. Let me know you. Give me space to unfold. So, this is an example of reflecting, asking curious questions, or sharing impact. When I hear you say that you're scared and you're in grief, I notice that I feel really sad. And I'm wanting good things to happen for you. This is like a completely different vibrational frequency than, "Hey, a month from now, you'll forget you were scared and everything will be great." you know? Uh, so yes, so the question, what was your grief about? That would be a great question to do a session on. Like to spend an hour exploring, what is that about? Because the truth is, I'm curious about it. Sometimes our emotions are so complex, and it's like, I'm not really sure what's going on. Lots of things. I'm aging, my children are older. Like there's so much adjusting. you know, life is really complex. So I think I managed to talk for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and see, you didn't even need Vinay to come in and chat with, but
No.
people have really, really enjoyed what you were sharing. And I know you don't have a website right now, but maybe you can put into the chat box an email address if anybody wants to email you. Would that be okay?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, I'm going to bring your friends Ragio and Vineet back up on camera for anything they want to add in listening to you speak. And then Vineet's going to introduce his friend who's behind him, who's going to play a little music. But Ragio, Vineet, anything you want to share with Shelley? You're on camera and you're muted, Vineet.
Great.
Thank you. Yeah, Shelley, it's always a deep dive with you. You know, there's always a level of realness and honesty about our conversations and just, you know, not talking around or about or above what's actually going on. And I really appreciate that about you. And I appreciate, you know, your intention to bring everybody into a deeper level of honesty and authenticity in our communications.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to read just a
And
few.
I'm sorry that I was one of those people that saying, yeah, no, what it was great.
No, you
We've got a
didn't.
house."
No, you didn't. You did not. I mean, you were happy about a house, but you did not do that. Just so
Okay.
you didn't.
I am going to read a few. I'm going to read a few more comments for you, Shelley, that came in. They're really quite beautiful. Grace Denise writes, "Thank you." Pam writes, "I love that response. I hear your grief and I want good things for you." Nikita writes, "So resonant, Shelley. Thank you." Carol writes, "Complex and scary, sometimes and unclear and confusing and nonsensical. Life is hard." Trina Jory writes, "All that and an invitation to be curious, to self-inquire and find out more deeper." Karen writes, "Trauma clearing is so important." Ayada writes, "I know that so well. The difference between when someone acknowledges how you're feeling and is curious in a supportive and helpful way." So you've stimulated our audience members, and that's what this is all about. Thank you, Shelley.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, and Vineet, I know you've got a friend to introduce, and we may want to do a quick sound check just to make sure that it's Zoom friendly.
Okay, you want to sound check them right now, or?
Yeah, well, do you want to introduce him first?
Yeah, sure. Okay, great. This is Adama Dembele, who I only met recently, and he's already become a wonderful friend, I have to say. Adama is from the Ivory Coast in West Africa, and from 33 generations of djembe and balafon players, so it's quite a prestigious lineage. He is a cultural ambassador and resident teaching artist with Leaf Global Arts, which is a fantastic arts organization here locally. Puts on an incredible Leaf Festival twice a year. He's also a professor at UNCA, University of North Carolina at Asheville, and Warren Wilson College, a wonderful progressive liberal arts college, and a multi-instrumental composer and choreographer. Adama? So you want to just play both instruments, and we'll sound check you here. And the drum. How was that?
It sounded good. Omashar, anything you would add? Omashar?
It sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, great.
This might be too loud, so I might not play too much.
No, it's good, Adama.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Just show your heart, brother.
Take it away.
You want to play something?
Okay, yes. Let me play this song called Fono Bingue. Fono Bingue is a very traditional West African rhythms It's a play for the middle workers in West Africa. Thank you. Try to give it. Thank you, everybody. So, yeah, this is a djembe. I have a two very traditional, old traditional West African instrument, which is the djembe and the balafon. The djembe is a instrument like what everybody I hear everybody say right now said we want people to get together and everybody to get together and share a good time. So this instrument, the djembe, is the instrument was made for that. Because the real name of the djembe is a djembe, meaning unite, like bringing people together. So that's the instrument. So that's why the djembe, you don't need to be a musician or know anything about music. It's a type of the instrument. If you take it, just grab it and put your hand on top of it, you can bring it some beat who can make somebody next to you happy. And also it's the instrument who is gonna connect people with the heart, with the beat. The heart, the beat of the drum and the heart and beat come together. And the djembe always bring this thing together called like a rainbow, you know, like a multiple color together. So the djembe is an instrument bring like a multiple color, multiple language, multiple food, different culture together. Right. So for this festival, what I'm gonna be doing is to get a drum to everybody and show them some song which is like a very powerful like a celebration song, full moon song, or any type of a celebration song we're gonna play together and to bless the festival to make everybody feels together.
Yay.
Awesome.
That's gonna be my role.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you. Scott's muted.
I think it's mute. He's mute.
Scott, you're muted.
Somebody was asking if it's that first instrument that you played, someone's asking if it's entirely made out of wood and if it's handmade.
Yes, the djembe is made out of wood. And
balafon.
the balafon is like one of the balafon and the djembe is the instrument from my family. Yes, so those two are the instrument I grew up with. But the balafon is the type of the wood. It's called jalayiri. So it's a big piece of the tree, same like the djembe, and they have to cut the piece of the tree like one small piece, and all the piece give you like a different keys before they even put on top of it. And then after all of that, under the balafon, we have the gourd. We have a bunch of gourd under there. I can show you the gourd under it.
Wow.
So you see, those are all different.
Wow.
Those are all gourd.
Wow.
From the small to the big one, and they all give you like a different sound.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
Thank you for picking that up and showing us that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a handmade. Every no machine touch it. Everything is made with the hand, and then from the A. Go from the bass to the high notes. Right?
Wow.
Incredible.
And tell us one more time what the name of that instrument is.
It's called a balafon. Balafon. It's the real name of this instrument was a bala, just bala. But after when things start to change, like a xylophone, saxophone, and everything, so they added like a balafon. But the real traditional name is a bala.
Beautiful. And you're 33rd generation of being dedicated to building community. And has that always been through music? Has that always been your family lineage?
Yes, it's always been my family lineage. My dad.
You want to sit up a little closer?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see him. Let's see him.
Yeah. There he is.
That's better. So yeah, like they said, I'm from the Ivory Coast, but my culture is not just the Ivory Coast. It's coming from like the Mandingo Empire, and the Mandingo Empire was this big cultural empire group called was like more than 14 different countries before in Africa. But now you can find them like 6 or 5 different countries, like Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Guinea. So all of those instruments and this power, the instrument we play was together to bring people. It was like a communication between the village and the people. Like back in the day, even now, it's still like some of the. As you can see, some of the villages still don't have like a computer system. They don't have electricity and stuff like that. So the way people used to communicate between the community was through the instrument. Like for example, if something happened in somebody's house, if you like somebody's having like a wedding or like a birthday party or anything like that, they will call the culture keeper. And when we came, we start to play the specific rhythms, and that's how everybody next door knows what's going on at the house, and they come and get together and celebrate. So that's how people used to communicate together. So when my dad moved from Mali to Ivory Coast, and he created this little compound, like some area in Ivory Coast called Abobo. And now that area was doing was to bring every young generation at the country who didn't have a place to go, who some didn't have parents, they always come into that place and stay there and learn their own culture and start to and be some a lot of them become like a professional musician now today. So that culture and that music was not just to perform, but it was also to help the young kid to understand their own culture, because those country I'm talking about, like Ivory Coast and Mali, they all like a French colonized country. So sometimes the young generation don't really know their own traditional instrument or their food or their even traditional language. So the culture keeper, like my family, was the one who were helping the generation to understand their own culture and the traditional music. That's why they call it, the Dambele family was the culture keeper family. And that's what I've been doing since South Africa, and I came here in the United States and I was doing the same thing. And I want to keep this story a little shorter because it can be too long when I'm going everywhere. But yeah, that's pretty much what those instruments do, bringing people together.
How wonderful. It's wonderful to meet you. We do have one last question. Julia wants to know, how do they get the notes of the vibration to be so precise with all the different gourds?
Yes, that's a very good question, because all the gourds, from the, like I said, from the big one to the small one, give the base. The big one give the base, and also there is a hole. We have a small hole we put on the gourd, and that small hole have like a spider net. The spider net to put on top of that hole to give the vibration. So this instrument is very you have to see how to make it, because you got like a lot of small uh part of it will give like all the sound, like even the piece of the wood, before even putting an instrument, before putting it together, we, after cutting the each piece, we put the wood together and smoke the wood first, smoke it for like a days, so all the water and everything come out of the wood before even put any balafon, before we put it together. So you got like a lot of small things to make the sound very special.
Adama, people want to hear more. They want to know how they can. Is your music available online anywhere?
Yes, most of it, I'm with Leaf. So if you go to Leaf website, which is the leaf.org, you can find me on there, or you go to YouTube, Adama Dambele. You can find a lot of my music on YouTube, or Spotify, Adama Dambele. I got my CD and stuff on top of it.
So that website is theleaf.org, THELEAF.org.
The leaf or just leaf?
The Leaf.
Yeah,
The Leaf.
All right, and I'll take a look, and I'll find you on YouTube, and I'll put that into the chat box as well. Adama, what a joy to meet you. Thank you so very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. And I hope everybody understand everything I said. People understand everything I said? Yes! Yay! Success!
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, well, that was fun, and I look forward to meeting him when I'm in Asheville in October. I'm going to mute you guys for right now, because I get to introduce another friend of mine, someone who I have just a tremendous amount of love and respect for, and this is Nikita Gehring. Some of you who have been with us for a while have seen Nikita on the show before, but it's been a little while since she's been with us. And Nikita is the founder and creator of I Am Mantra, which began way back in 2009 and now reaches over 260,000 people in 80 countries. Every day she sends out an I Am Mantra, a reminder of usually it's a beautiful affirmation to carry with us throughout the day. And it's a beautiful service that Nikita has been providing. Originally born in Australia, she moved to the United States in 2004, working for a nonprofit peacemaking organization, and began her coaching of individuals and groups back then. She has facilitated many events, including just did a big event for Patricia Robles's big event in Tucson, I believe it was, last week. She's an extraordinary coach, teacher, and what a blessing to have you with us tonight. And we thought this would be a really good show for you to be on. And she's going to talk to us. Our show is called The Awakening World, and she's going to talk about the evolving human and how we can embody our I am presence. So welcome back to The Awakening World, Nikita.
Oh, thank you, Scott. And I just want to say what a joy it is to be here tonight. I feel like we're in a big circle, and I want to just say, Rajio and Vineet, I can feel the energy that you bring to the Interbeing Festival. I can feel your relationship with Scott. Shelley, I could feel part of my work is very resonant with your work, Shelley, and I could feel in your speaking, not only were you speaking words, but you're also speaking with your vibration and your energy and your frequency. And just, I love how tonight has woven it. Again, it feels like we're around a big sacred fire. I think if I tune into words that feel resonant right now, it feels very familiar. It feels family. It feels community. There feels like an authenticity, a permission to be our authentic selves, that we don't have to be perfect, that we can come, as Shelley said, with both the realness of the moment, deep appreciation of ourselves and the realness of the moment, and also, as Adama just led us through, then feel the joy of the moment as well. So I guess I just wanted to kind of name some of the energies I'm feeling in the space right now, because my work right now, it's very much around the evolving human. And the idea of us as, I think I want to just plant some seeds. And in the time that I have tonight, I want to plant some seeds into our circle around the fire, the sacred fire, the heart flame fire, the remembering fire, knowing that what we plant here tonight, not only is beneficial for us, but it also ripples out into the collective. If you're familiar with the work of the Heart Math Institute, which is a profound group of individuals uniting spirituality and science, what we know is that what we are vibrating at, which is influenced by our physical body, our nervous system, it's influenced by our mental body, our thoughts, it's influenced by our emotional body, our emotions, it's influenced by our energetic body. Our vibration, how we're living and being, literally ripples out into the collective around us. And this, I think, is important because the concept of the evolving human is that we are remembering our interbeing, our connection with ourselves and source, whatever name we call, and Mother Gaia. And we're remembering our interconnected relationship with all of life around us. And what I'll say about that is, the more we move into harmonic frequency, and for now, let's think of that as love-based frequencies, and we can do that through nervous system work. We can do that through working with our thoughts, shifting from fear-based thoughts to love-based thoughts. We can do that through emotional work, as Shelley so eloquently spoke to. Shelley, I really honor you. I can really feel the depth of the deep work you do in the world of trauma, deep listening and repatterning. But as we learn how to address what I sometimes call the residual trauma-based, fear-based emotional imprints in our system, we can then repattern to love-based, higher frequency emotional programs, imprints, frequencies. And then we start to, when we have a high vibrational thought and a high vibrational emotion, and we combine that with a regulated nervous system, we think of a regulated nervous system is no longer in survival. It's in our optimal, thriving, more regenerative state. As we combine these elements, then it's like we come online in a whole nother way. As Rajio said so beautifully, it's like we're coming home to ourselves in a whole nother way. And when we come home to ourselves, we can start to open up our heart field, and heart intelligence, we can start to open up, which creates what HeartMath calls heart coherence, what Patricia Coder-Robles calls awakening the heart flame, as we create more resonance, harmonics, and the music that Adama played tonight. So you could feel that in your body. Do you notice the whole energy just like shifted? And then when Billy was playing, you know, his whole energy using music to help shift our frequency. So as we start to create harmonic frequencies, and let's say we start with the heart, that sends harmonic frequencies up to the brain. Then we start accessing our higher mind. And then we start opening our whole channel to a whole higher potential for us as humans. Our heart holds what they call imaginal cells. Imaginal cells, you may have heard of imaginal cells in the caterpillar that are like the dormant sleeping cells that hold the DNA and the coding for the butterfly. They have found that we have also a type of imaginal cells in our heart that hold some sort of coding for a high, as we activate it, a higher awareness, again, the evolving human. We also know that science says we currently use 1.5% of our DNA. More traditional science says the other 98.5% of our DNA is called junk DNA. But what we know in our hearts and souls, nature doesn't have any junk. Everything is interrelated. Everything has a divine design. Our bodies, the way we relate, the fact that we breathe out carbon dioxide and the trees breathe it in, and that trees breathe out oxygen and we breathe it in. We have a divine design. And so as we start to remember this divine design, we start opening, so back to the junk DNA. So I would say more pioneering scientists like HeartMath Institute, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, their concept is that other 98.5% of DNA is a library of potentials. A library of potentials. 98.5% of our DNA is waiting for us to remember more of our greater nature in harmonic frequency with self and harmonic frequency with the world around us. And I'll just finish. I'll finish with a couple of thoughts. And this is I'm so grateful to be in this circle around the fire tonight. And my final thoughts are that when we learn to shift from fear-based patterning in our nervous system, in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our energy, we start to activate more of our love-based frequency. And this is a lot of the work that I do in my clients and in my upcoming masterclass, is learning how to do what I call whole system alignment, learning how to shift the physical, mental, emotional, energetic bodies and realign them back into a harmonic love-based frequency, and through that start to open to our higher potential. I think it's important for us as evolving humans to remember that humanity is not done, that what's going on in the collective right now is a massive wake-up call to shift from survival and fear to love and thriving, and that each of us here and those watching the replay, we know that we have a part to play in this transformation right now. And how can we help the transformation, the birth of the new earth? It's through us. The new earth isn't birthed around us. The new earth, the conscious earth, the sustainable earth, the peaceful humanity is birthed through us in each and every moment. We are the change. We are the change. We have the power. And it's so important. If you're near Asheville and you can get to the INTERBEING Festival, go be with the community. Be one-on-one. Having just come from an event where I got to immerse myself with 500 people, where we got to be together and eye to eye and breathe together and laugh together and cry together. It's so powerful. The concept, and I know Shelley's probably very aware of this, the concept of coherence and co-regulation. Shelley, I believe you talked about that. As we start to raise our own vibration, we literally send out, like a tuning fork, like music, higher frequencies into the field. And that helps all those around us start to feel those higher frequencies, and it starts to move and activate things in them. And I'll just say one final thing, because I'm so passionate about this topic. So I'll say one final thing. Not only when we create a harmonic frequency in ourselves, when we choose love over fear, when we really make an effort to remember and come home to ourselves and then meet each other deeply, as Shelley talked about, as Rajio and Vineet are modeling, that as we create more harmonic frequencies in ourselves, the HeartMath Institute recently released a study that they said that obviously those who are aware of the HeartMath Institute, that we produce, this isn't new, but that we produce an electromagnetic field that our heart produces an electromagnetic field, and so does our body, and it ripples out around us and flows out from us. What's important right now to that, and this shows how we can affect significant change, is that number one, a small group of people coming together with high elevated thoughts and high elevated emotions, thoughts and emotions together can affect significant change in the collective consciousness. Number two, when we create heart coherence, love-based frequencies in our heart, high vibrational emotions, feeling love, joy, compassion, our heart sends out a certain frequency. That frequency is the same as one of the energy frequencies that surrounds the toroidal field of the planet. That frequency is the same frequency as one of the fields around our planet. And the concept is that as we grow in love, we literally feed the love field around the planet that then bathes the planet in higher frequencies, and all of life is then bathed in high frequencies, which then starts to shift the collective consciousness. So thank you for being here. Thank you. You matter. We each matter, and we each make such a powerful difference every time we shift from fear into love. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, let's all just take a breath and breathe in that download of very important insights and wisdom that Nikita has just shared with us. Let's take a breath. And Nikita, there's a lot of comments coming in that I'm going to read to you. I'm going to remove myself, and we're going to look at you as you get to hear what people have to say.
Scott, can I just say one really simple thing?
You can say as much as you want. We're in no rush.
Thank you. I would normally have started with breath, so I'm really grateful that Scott brought that in. I love, Shelley, that you invited us to breathe. Because I felt this was a time I wanted to download as much as I could. And what I would say is a practice that I do that really helps me come home to myself and become aware of my breathing. When I become aware of my breathing, I start to regulate my nervous system, and I shift into witness consciousness, and I can more easily shift my mind and my emotions and my energy. So I'll just leave you with this thought: hand on heart, one hand under your belly button, on your navel chakra, also called lower dantian in Qigong and Chinese medicine. And just doing this throughout the day and breathing down into your body in a calm, relaxed way, releasing tension and letting your body soften and open. So hand on heart, hand on under the belly button, and breathe down into the body and release the stress and allow yourself to kind of come home to yourself. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And maybe you can demonstrate that while I read all the comments that are coming in towards you. Carol Craig wrote, I've been enjoying your I am mantra every day since you were on the show previously. Maximum Grace, Nikita. Pam writes, Nikita, I always appreciate your beautiful and heart-opening words and presence. Carol writes, yes, absolutely. This is a big sacred fire gathering together a few times per week for 4.5 years now. Amushar points out that today's I am mantra was, quote, I am attracting everything I need and require to heal, blossom, and expand to my greatest potential. Beautiful. Reverend Jeffrey writes, beautifully said, very vibrant flow and alignment. And Susan points out that what you'd said previously, that it's our favorite metaphor here, talking about the caterpillar into the butterfly through the imaginal cells. Ayada writes, that's amazing and such good news that we have imaginal cells in our hearts. The implications of that are incredible. Susan writes, kind of like spiritual Rolfing. Welcome back, Eleanor Joy. Susan continues, the reason I like this theory is because the individual person can affect change just by feeling love and peace. And Roger and Vinny said, yes, this is such good news. Eleanor Joy writes, this is so profound. This little bit that I just got, I came in just in time for supreme wisdom from Nikita. Carol writes, I felt that high vibrational frequency this week in the DNC, and it's a joyful experience that lifted me up more than I can remember in recent time. Oshar writes, beautifully shared wisdom, dear Nikita. Shelley writes, thank you so much. I felt your every word. Thank you for reminding of us all that we matter. There's still more. Ayada writes, Nikita, I love and resonate with everything you've shared here. So aligned with much that I feel and sense. In particular, the growing sense I have that our response to such distressing situations as the wars in Ukraine and Gaza can and need to become one of focused love for all involved. I know that's not a new concept, but I sense that right now on the planet, we're on the threshold of this new consciousness, and the more of us dedicated to this, the faster things will transform. Grace Denise writes, thank you for this uplifting wisdom. Mara writes, thank you so much for the suggestion with the breath work. Ayada writes, yes, absolutely. The DNC was a love fest. And finally, Ashoka writes, well of wisdom, Nikita. You've touched our audience beautifully.
Well, we're all co-creating this, right? We're all vessels. All of us have shown up tonight to co-create this. And so I'm really honored to be in Circle. And yeah, thank you, Scott, Vineet, Ragio, for creating this sacred space tonight.
Our pleasure. And I want to let people know how they can get more of you, because obviously our audience loves you. Her website is, of course, iammantra.com. iammantra.com. Click there, and that's where you can get the get on to receive her I Am Mantra daily, or put your name and address in there. I already received it. But she is starting a human masterclass starting in a couple of weeks on September 15th, the Evolving Human Masterclass. Tell us about this, Nikita.
So this is something I'm very inspired about. It's going to be an 8-week immersion with a really beautiful group of people. And we're going to go through some of the concepts that I talked about. We're going to address the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the energetic body, the spiritual soul body. We're going to work with neuroscience. We're going to work with nervous system. We're going to combine spirituality and science. We're going to work with superconscious mind and the quantum field. It's just such a passionate topic. So if you're interested, please go and if you to my website. And if you have any questions, there's a form and you can send me an email.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Scott.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Nikita. Thanks for being with us.
Let us bless you.
Ah, wow. What a lovely evening we're having as we sit around the fire and listen and learn from each other. Isn't that beautiful? And I love that analogy. Thank you so much. Well, We recently, when we had our Bhakti Fest show, we had the opportunity to meet a beautiful man. Oh, whoops, I'm ahead of myself. We're going to go to Billy Jonas next. So I apologize. I was suffering from premature evaluation. Vineet, anything you want to add about Billy as we turn the spotlight on to both of you?
Well, just my experience, we had a pre-festival gathering for some of the performers and presenters here recently, and I was just really taken by not just Billy's prowess and choice of songs, which are so evocative and meaningful for me, but his way of engaging the audience is like I could not sing along with him, because just the way he would tell, as he was singing, he would tell you the next, and I think we just experienced this, he would mouth the next line of the song, and we would all just come right in, and it was a beautiful chorus and call and response kind of thing. So clearly he has the gift of being able to really engage and work interactively with audiences, including children. I can see he's a master at all ages and energies. So in addition to his lovely introduction, I will say that about Billy, and I can't wait to hear his next song.
Thank you so much, Vineet. All right, you can still hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you still got me.
Perfect.
Yep, all right. We're going to do a participatory song, a whisper-along song. Will you try this with me? Call and response. Whisper it. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds good. That sounds good. Everybody say. Everybody say. This is just the rehearsal. The rehearsal. There will be different words. Different words. God is in the child's eyes, see them wide, wondrous wise. God is in the rain and snow, and each snowflake this we know. God is in the trees and air, the rocks, the birds, the bees, the bears. And God is in the clouds above, God is in each act of love. God is in the oceans deep, some say God goes there to sleep. God is in the mountains high, whistling a lullaby. God is in the darkest wood, God is in your neighborhood. God is in a place that's near, sometimes it's just not so clear. God is in, 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 God is in. God is in your strangest pleasure. Some say God is into leather. God is into body piercing. In your nipple, lip, and nose ring. God is in your new tattoo, your scars and birthmarks too. God is in your brand new nose, your control top pantyhose. God is in the latest fad, except bungee jumping, that's dangerous and bad. God is in your cellular phone. God will not leave you alone. God is in the internet, wondering who's not there yet. God is in Vogue and Spin and Rolling Stone, 'cause God is in, 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 God is in. Now you can say God is in, or you can say God is Zen, or you can say Goddess in, or you can say, hey, I got us in. Whatever supports your theology, it all works here. God is in the Christian house, bread and wine and holy cross. God is in the Jewish home, Shalom Chaverim Shalom. God is in the Muslim, Allahu Akbar Salam. God is in the Hindu way, Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. God is in the dancing pagans, every drop of perspiration. God is in the Wiccan coven, 12 plus 1 perfect dozen. God is in the Druid song, that's why they go on so long. God is in the Buddhist chair singing, don't just do something, sit there. God is in the Vatican. God goes there for vacation, and God is in the Quaker meeting. Sleep until they start the singing. God is in your guru. How do you spell guru? G-U-R-U. God is in the atheist saying, yes, I don't exist. God is in the flowing Tao, then and now and now and now, and God is in the Rastaman. I and I, on and on. God is in the Mooney wedding. Who gets to begin the betting? God is in those Hare Krishna rub their heads and make a wish. Now God is in, 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 God is in. God is in your bank account, sometimes juggling the amount. God is in your ATM, counting bills and stacking them. God is in your college fund, laughing 'cause it's gone, gone, gone. God is in your IRA, adding interest every day. God is in your pocket change, your job is giving it to strangers. God is in the beggar's cup, sometimes God will fill it up. God is in the empty hands, spent it on cheap Almaden. God was in the S&Ls, but left, that's why they went to hell. God is in Walmart, greets you with a shopping cart. God is in your old jalopy, makes it go when it should not be. God is in the Greyhound bus, sitting in back and watching us. God is in tourist class, on a frequent flyer pass. God is in the pilot light, dancing through the night. God is in the radio, public radio told me so. God is in the microwave, unless you use something metal, then the microwave is the devil. Also don't microwave with saran wrap, it forms molecular bonds with your food, it turns your intestines into Tupperware. God is in your Tupperware, but not the lids, so buy some spares. God is in, 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 God is in. God is in the ozone layer, holier and holier. God is in the atom bomb, or at least the atom bomber's mom. God is in Chechnya, Srebrenica, Slovenica, Serbia, Monrovia, Liberia, Haifa, Kandahar, Baghdad, Oklahoma, Chicago, Israel, Gaza, and Ukraine. God is incredulous at all the stuff we do to us. God is inspired by those who fly, those who try. God is insatiable, so sing and dance way past full. God is in you and me, someday God'll help us see. God is in love with love, so live in love, and that's enough. God is in, God is in, God is in, God is in. God is inside of you, all you don't and all you do. God is in, God is in, God is in, God is in. God is in your greatest doubt, the jury's out, doctor's out, but God is in, God is in. God is in this festival, I hope we get to see all of y'all. God is in, God is in. God is in the town of Asheville, come on down and get your fill. God is in, God is in. God is in the Heart Math Institute, oh my Lord, they're so astute. God is in, 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 God is in. Everybody, God is in, God is in. God is in. God is in. God is in. God is in.
Oh, that was awesome. Absolutely. I'm going to go to gallery view. Let's give Billy some twinkles, some Awakening World twinkles here. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And there are some wonderful comments coming in, Billy. Tia writes, Billy, you are looking deeply into my eyes as if singing to only me. This is a trippy, fun song. Carol writes, I'm so grateful for this tribe and this show. I'm feeling so much better for attending tonight. Blessings to all of you. Morgan writes, I love this man. God is all that is, everything and everything. Oh, everyone and everything. So love this song. Thank you. I want this song. Thank you, Billy Jonas. Susan S. writes, brilliant. Love your sense of humor. Reverend Jeffrey Colbrook writes, love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. And Carol writes, what if God is one of us is an old favorite of mine. She's right on with the lyrics of that song. And more coming in. Grace Denise points out what beautiful words. And Katie O'Shea wants the words. I don't know if you've got them written down anywhere or not.
Yeah, at the website, you can go to the shop tab, but they're free. Just go to the shop tab and scroll down to
Hold on.
there.
Let's slow down. We're going to do this now. So everybody, we are now on the Billy Jonas website, Billy Jonas, JONAS.com. And we're going to go to shop.
And then lyrics and sheet music.
Wow.
Yeah, and up above that is the merchandise where you can buy it, But yeah, you can listen and see it here, and then you plug God is in, or just scroll to God is in.
Oh my God, look at all these songs that you've got, the MP3s, the PDFs. Oh my God, this is quite a website.
I'm a professional.
You're more than that, partner. And here they are. Here are the lyrics just for you. Ask, and these ye shall receive. For God is in the website of billyjonas.com. That's where you'll find God. Billy, you're a delight.
Thank you. What a privilege to be here, and I hope you all will consider coming to the INTERBEING Festival. It's going to be a glorious celebration of connectedness.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and being there, and I hope some of us will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And your friends Raju and Vineet are still there. Raju had threatened that she was going to leave, but somehow she's gotten pulled into the show, and that's
was trying, but I couldn't leave.
It's too good.
Oh, beautiful.
Past my bedtime, but I still can't leave.
I'm glad you're still
It's
here.
that good.
Well, we've got one last presenter, and he's somebody that we met a few weeks ago when we did a show promoting the Bhakti Fest. And I was just so touched with the beauty of this man and his devotion that I wanted for us to spend a little more time with him. And this is Ashoka. And he is just very, very devoted in beautiful ways to what really this show is all about, to awakening, and doing it through love and through his music. And so we're going to chat with him a little bit afterwards, but I think it would be really lovely, actually. Would you be willing to do some kirtan for us, and then we'll have a chat?
Sure, Scott, can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great.
So I'm going to start with the mantras that Nikita talked about. I am mantra. Start with Oms, 3 Oms. Om is supposed to be the original word, original creation by God. Then I will sing Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. I posted it on message. Namo is salutations. Bhagavate is divine. Ramakrishna is a master. His disciple Swami Vivekananda brought Hinduism to the West in late 1800s. So Ramakrishna is about names are many, God is one. Just like when we want to climb a mountain, there are many paths. So There are many paths, whether it is Buddhism or Christianity or Hinduism, to reach the one God that that we just sang. So please sing. Also, this is call and response. I'll be playing my CD, and that was produced in India. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय 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 Together please. ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय 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 भगवते रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो 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 भगवते रामकृष्णाय लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् Tatsat.
It's all twinkle, beautiful Ashoka.
So the last prayer that I did was, may all beings be happy, healthy, and may we find the truth from darkness, and may we realize the light from darkness.
Ashoka, I have so much appreciation for you. And I'm going to take people to your website. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this. It really stood out for me, and I read it when he was on the show last time, but I want to read it again. The focus of Ashoka's daily life centers around serving and inspiring others through leading, writing, presenting, and singing, through loving his family, God, and God's creation with devotion, realizing the self through yoga, gaining knowledge and wisdom by continuously learning, admiring nature and different cultures by traveling the world, cherishing every day and being healthy, truthful, and graceful. Ashoka's motto: live, love, laugh, learn, lead, and leave a legacy. And there's just such a simple beauty to your wisdom, Ashoka, the way that you express it there. Oh, by the way, his website is swankirtan.com. Swan, like the beautiful creature that we see on the pond, and kirtan, swankirtan.com. And that's where you can learn more about his upcoming events. So definitely visit there. And Ashoka, what would you like to share with our audience tonight? You're kind of our final presenter. It's been a very sweet evening. What would you like to share?
Wow, that's an open question.
It is.
I want to thank you, Scott, and Om Shara for your beautiful help on sound system. And I want to thank all the presenters for sharing your beautiful art and wisdom. I want to, Scott raised a question about what do we have to do in this challenging times, whether it is civil war, whether it is the wars in Gaza, or like what Shelley and Nikita suggested, and others also have suggested, through the work that you're doing, Scott, bringing all the people together and inspiring each other and sharing the wisdom and living in a space that is more loving, compassionate. That is what helps us to be optimistic and hopeful about the future, especially in our country, with all this, what's going on. I'm more optimistic and hopeful for the future than I was last year.
Good. That's good. I want to read some of the comments that have come in. Pam writes, Ashoka, your music was such a beautiful way to wrap up this evening. Grace writes, deepening and uplifting. Nikita writes, thank you so much, Ashoka. Such a gift to my heart and spirit tonight. Thank you for your love and divine devotion. Susan Blomquist writes, gratitude. Carol writes, deep gratitude. Ayada writes, Ashoka, that was exquisite. Thank you so much. Denise writes, beautiful, Ashoka. Thank you. Dr. Laura writes, Om. Thank you, Ashoka. And then I'm going to bring everybody back up one last time. Here's Vineet and Ragio. Here's Shelley. Here's Billy. Here's Nikita. Where's Omashar hiding? There's Omashar. And is I going to bring Billy up? I thought I had already. There's Billy. So here are our wonderful guests tonight, and so grateful for all of your contributions as we sat around the Global Peace Tribe fire and shared this evening. Thank you again, Ragio and Vineet. And just really do hope that some of our Global Peace Tribers will be able to make it to this really fun day that it's going to be. And, you know, it's a good time to be in Asheville because the following weekend is the Leaf Festival. And the Leaf Festival is like...
Oh, it's 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
Whoops.
That's right.
Come for 2 weeks.
Come for 2 weeks. All
You
right,
can
there you
never
go.
get enough of Asheville.
But you know, while we're talking about that, there is space. You have a retreat center, and so people can book rooms at your retreat center, correct?
Yep. First come, first served.
Yep. All right. So it's going to be important. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody, so much. Now, don't go away because I've got some important Global Peace Tribe announcements, but I wanted to just bring everybody up one last time.
Thank
So
you. It's been a gift. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
much love.
Thank you. All right, I do have some announcements, and then we're going to close with an Omashar song. This Wednesday night's show is going to be very, very special. We are going to be collaborating with our good friend, Reverend Jeffrey, who was here up until recently, tonight. There he is. All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to bring you on board. You are still here. Good. So Jeffrey, as most of our regulars know, has been very involved with the International Space Federation for quite a while, and he has arranged for many of his colleagues to come on and be with us. And so our next Awakening World show, Wednesday night, is going to be a really special one. And Jeffrey, anything you want to share about your friends and your colleagues who are going to be joining us on Wednesday night?
Well, it's going to be amazing. These are amazing people, and they have deeply embedded the understanding of the unification of the reality of Source, and each of them individually expressing it in such unique ways. So you get to see really what it's like to be part of the members that are deeply involved with the International Space Federation, and what it means to each of us, and what kind of work different people are doing to unite and practice not only the understanding of Source at the most deepest level and the actual nature of that Source with their spiritual path and what they're doing to express that. It's going to be exciting. These folks are amazing, and I'm excited to have everybody here. You're gonna love this group, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And of course, a lot of it is our devotion to the amazing scientist Nassim Harimi, who, of course, is back in the United States right now. When we're doing this, he'll be in Burning Man with some of his team. That's why he wasn't able to join us. But of course, he'll be in LA on the 14th of September, sharing that immense wisdom that he has captured in the nature of reality, which we really need to understand deeply for our own personal evolution and the evolution of our planet and humanity.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. I'm really excited about it. So that's going to be this Wednesday night show. And speaking of Global Peace Tribe shows, who was here for the Thursday night fundraiser event that we did for Piper Dellums? I see people waving their hands. I got to say, honestly, you know, I've done over 600 Global Peace Tribe shows, and Thursday nights was absolutely one of my top 10, one of my favorite. It was an amazing show, and I'll be sending out the replay to have all of our Zoom roomers. I'm going to put the replay into the chat box in a moment, but I also really want to encourage people to donate, because it is all about donating for Piper Dellums. And what's really wonderful is we have an anonymous donor who's matching us dollar for dollar. We started at about $4,000, so we've raised over $5,000 since Thursday morning. And this anonymous donor is going to match it. So we will hit the $15,000 goal, but we still would love for some of you to donate. And I just want to acknowledge so many of our global peace drivers. I mean, you got to recognize so many of the names there. So many people that are in the Zoom room right now, like George and Morgine. So thank you so much, everybody. Roger's with us right now. So it's just really grateful to all of you for your incredible generosity to support Piper. And it's a time that she really does need this support. Thank you, Omashar. And thank you, everybody who has donated. So I'm going to put that information in the chat box, both the link where you can watch the recording of the show. And the show was amazing. Music with Kristen Hoffman, Gary Malkin, Omashar, dance with Casey Chai, and Summer, poetry. It was, and Piper crying through it all. It was really, 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 really special. So definitely, please do watch the recording and please donate. I have a little bit more, just time for a prayer. Many of you know our good friend Sean Jay, the magician. Sean is one of our favorite magicians. We haven't had him on the show for a while because this summer he was traveling all over the country, performing at fairs and festivals, and he kind of overdid it and ended up in the hospital. His mother sent me this photo and asked us to put Sean into our prayers. So he's in a hospital in Iowa right now. So maximum grace for Sean Jay. Maximum grace for Sean. We love you, Sean, and we are holding the vision of when you're going to be back on the show, letting us know that you're at 100% radiant health. Maximum grace for our beloved friend, Sean Jay. Thank you, everybody. I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover. So I'm going to turn it over to Vineet. Are there any final words that you'd like to share?
Gosh, that I feel very inspired from the show, Scott. I mean, I've loved how everybody wove this. It's more than a concept. Interbeing, it's an experience. It's an intention. It's a consciousness that we are part of one another. We're part of the living, breathing spirit that's everywhere, as Billy beautifully, God is in everything. It's in us, and we're connected that way. Just to be specific, my only criticism of the Democratic National Convention, which was I cried all the way through it. I'm so excited that it feels like it's a new chapter for humanity. Actually, it's that big. And my only disappointment is that there was still the sense that everyone is all about America, that God bless America, and it's all about America doing well. It's about that, but it's also about the entire world. We interbe with everybody and everything. If China goes down, we go down. We need to make sure that everybody is blessed, everybody has enough to eat, everybody is treating each other fairly. And so by expanding our sense of who we are beyond an American, beyond an old white man, in my case, beyond even a human being, we share this beautiful earth with so many other creatures, and for humans to think that they should take up all of the resources, we're already in trouble with that. So thank you again for expressing interbeing in so many ways, all the music and all the beautiful talks on this show, and onward and upward. I can't wait to see you at the festival and your wonderful session there. And yeah, everybody come on down. Nashville's an amazing place, and October 5th will be an amazing place to be as well in the festival.
Beautiful. And lots of people are saying that they agree with you about we need it to be global. Dr. Laura wants to come, and she wants to know if she can bring her 40-pound dog.
Absolutely. Kids, dogs, Everybody and everything is welcome.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great news. So, Dr. Laura, hopefully I'll get a chance to actually finally meet you. And with that, we're going to turn it over for our closing song to the Alpha and the Omega Man. All things begin and end on the awakening world with Omashar.
The quieter you become, the more you can hear in the silence, in the stillness. I am here. Through the wisdom of your tears, through your heartbreaks, through your breakthroughs, through the shedding of your fear. I am with you and guiding your way. Know that I am cheering you on. Truth lives within you and love leads us through. I love you. Now your heart and mind is clear, and you know that love is with you, love supports you, love is here. And you feel that you belong, and you're walking with purpose. You can hear your life's new song. That I am with you and guiding your way. Know that I am cheering you on. Truth lives within you and love leads us through. I love you. Through the wisdom of your tears, through your heartbreaks, through your breakthroughs, through the shedding of your fears. That I am with you and guiding your way. Know that I am cheering you on. And truth lives within you and love leads us through. I love you.
Thank you, Omashar. Thank you, Vineet. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you, Jeffrey, and everyone. Beautiful, beautiful show. Thank you, Ashoka. And I look forward to hopefully seeing all of you on Wednesday nights for our International Space Federation show. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. A reminder that you can make tomorrow's Sunday. Let's make it a sacred Sunday. And we do that by choosing to see divinity in all and chanting the I am mantra of the day. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Good night.